Hi guys. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about brioche decreases, both left leaning and right leaning. And so brioche decreases are always worked across 3 stitches. And so usually they start with a yarn forward, slip 1 yarn over, usually worked on a right side. So my main color is the blue here. And they're worked after a yarn forward, slip 1 yarn over, so across an active stitch, one that gets a shawl, and then the next active stitch. And so right leaning and left leaning, they're fairly similar, but we'll go with right leaning first. I'm so sorry, Oliver is mad. I just turned his toy off, so that's the crying in the background for tonight. You're welcome. Okay, so like I said, we'll start with a right leaning first. We're gonna work it across these 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. You're always counting the shawl over top as 1 stitch with its mate here. Okay, so I'm going to yarn forward, slip 1 yarn over, and then we get into the right leaning increase. And so for this one and the left one, you always start off by slipping that first stitch knitwise. And so usually you never do that, but we want to twist the stitch in this case so that when you put it back over top, you are covering up basically the shawl. So in mine, it's a good example because if I had my shawl, if we were to slip that stitch purlwise and place it back over, you would see the shawl over top of the decrease instead of the main color. And so it hides nicely back there when you do that. And so that's why we do it knitwise. And so slip it knitwise, knit the next stitch, slip that first stitch over top, then you're going to take that stitch that you just knit and slipped it over back onto your left hand needle. Oliver, it's okay, I'll turn it on in 1 minute, just let me finish. And then you're going to take that next stitch and pass it over the one you knit, pass your stitch back onto the right hand needle, and that's your decrease finished. And give it a little tug after you do that. There's always a little bit of excess. And you can see that the way we slip those stitches pretty much hides the shawl under it, or it will. And then you just carry on in pattern. So yarn forward, slip 1, yarn over. Now let's work a left leaning decrease. And so again, you want to start by slipping that stitch knitwise off of your needle. And the difference with this one is now you're going to take your next 2 stitches and knit them together. So you've got to make sure you get all of them in there, knit those together. And now you have both of the stitches on your right hand needle. Take that first stitch that you slipped, pass it over, and give it a tug. And that's it. There's your other decrease. And so you can see right leaning, left leaning right there. So I'll be right back once, hopefully to get Oliver settled, and then to go over the increase row. So I've got to work the rest of this row in my contrast color and then work the back side, and I'll be right back and we'll do the 2 increases. So a bark Y-O bark and then a bark 4-stitch increase. But those are your 2 decreases, and both are worked in your cowl project. So they're worked down here side by side, and then they're also worked up here in the main section, first side by side, and then again together. And in the together up here for the main increase, I tend to, if I need a neutral decrease, I'll usually go for the right hand one. So they're fairly easy. It's just a matter of remembering which is which. Okay, I'll be right back with your increases.